Hey guys, Alexandrondon here, once again. Oops. And I'm recording this episode on a bit of a stuffy nose. Am I still in the Forge version? I am in the Forge version. It's not too bad though. Especially when those guys aren't running, but yeah, it's been 10 episodes into the series already, and took a little break for a small period of, well, actually it was a fairly decent sized period of time, but we've made it to episode 10, and this is going to be our first world tour. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just clear up my inventory, but this right here, this block was the first block that was... You don't think it was the first block that was placed, the stair, but this block here, 1563 -86, was the first block that was broken at the beginning of this series, and it actually wasn't broken on the series, it was broken before the series, but this was the first one, and so we're going to start every tour right here, where everything started. The first thing I built, and we're not going to go through everything every time, was this little area here. I think I built it all the way out to here. Then I made these paths. Then I made this little campus information desk here, where you have an attendant. I believe I extended these roads a little bit, made this sidewalk here. I think I made these signs a little later into the thing, but then after that I made these two waterfalls. Next thing I made was I made the bottom of this thing just to get a general area. And then the next thing that I made here, what the heck? One sec. Anyway, the next thing I made here was this parking lot area. I think the first thing that I built was this tree section that I went ahead and did the parking lot, used the fill command quite a bit. Then I made this thing here. And then we went on to the big dormitory building here. Built the front. And one day, let it sit for a while because I was more or less completely stumped on what to do. And I went over here and just designed 4 rooms. And then I designed 4 rooms on the other side, over here. And then I copy and pasted the whole thing up 1 level. Or cloned, I guess, would be the official term. And then I went down here all the way and finished up the building in that day. And then I went through here, put some random saplings, bone mealed the whole thing. I made the paths first, so you get an outline of where I was going. I made this road, and I remember it very specifically. I was when I built this area right here, I was listening to the song "Someone Anyone" by Anne Berlin from their album Devotion. For some odd reason, I remember that. Pretty much whenever you hear a song and someone makes any sort of comment about it, you remember that time and you associate it with that song. And then I made these mailboxes area here. I think I actually built this... No. I built this area right after I built the forest. This is like the class selection. Then I built this. Then I added parking spots in the mailboxes. And then after that, I built this road. Somewhere in there, I think actually quite a bit later, I made this thing. Which looks better from the ground. Wonder if you can see... that torch from up here, kind of. We'll work on that maybe a bit at some point in time with the lighting. And then I built a little section of this river, probably right until about here at this really sharp curve. And then I bridged over it. And I built this. Really, actually, I think it looks amazing. Wooden stable. My computer's warming up. Which means we're probably getting a little bit of static right now. Apologies, of course. Then I went ahead and I built this subdivision area. Extended the river to go along with it a ways. It's actually a pretty decent sized river right now. And I think that I'll make that, because my plan is to make it be a little bit of an island here. And I think that river will go up that way to like a mountain, and then the whole thing will be an island. But down this way, still quite a ways, there's yet to be a downtown and an industrial area off that way, and maybe more of a natural area up there. So then there's this road, which I actually extended quite a bit longer than it is now. I still think I'm gonna unextend, or like I'm gonna de-extend that a bit, but so yeah, I built the road up to about here or something, and then there was like a big chunk error here, so I used that to my advantage, and I sort of dug out and built this interstate, and it probably went to about right here-ish on the other side and over here, and I used a lot of fill commands and stuff. But I remember I was with my grandma, and she was marveling at the whole thing. Built this cool bridge. And then the road just kind of ended after this, I guess it's kind of an intersection here. And then I built, first was Texas Steak. And then the record shop. And then after that I built this hardware store, which has a completely useless area up here. And then I started building over on this side, and it's like a low-density commercial area. Built this first, this little gas station. Then I started then I built the parking lot one episode. Built this in the second episode. Still not really done on the inside at all. There's a frozen food section to check out the beer department. And in the back it kind of goes into a mall. Or it will anyway. So we can head out here where it is now nighttime. think my brightness is all the way up, so I shouldn't have many issues with that. Then I built this 97.5 radio station, and I had a great idea for it. I still do have a great idea for it, really. But, I have, yet to think of a good way of using it in a small area. So I covered up the hole for the basement. You can hop down here. So yeah, there was a daylight, well, there still is this daylight sensor here, and then this area in the back, so keeps that under control. But basically I had that hooked up to a monostable pulse shortener circuit. How is that daylight sensor, is it inverted? Huh. How is that giving off electricity? It's the middle of the night. Well, whatever. But yeah. Anyway, there's basically a loop here, and it's supposed to display a different radio message pretty much every day. But that's hard to do with a short area. I still do have the upstairs broadcast room. So, only use if you know what you're doing, obviously. So, I don't think I'm tuned in right now. I might be. I am tuned in. Radio 97.5 whispers to you. Hello, listeners, to 97.5. Scoreboard, players, set, Alexandrondon, station 0. So now I'm not listening to any radio station, so if it hits this, I don't. But then there's this cool sign that I made in the bottom that I really need to be careful not to destroy, because it's kind of special. So I click it, it doesn't say anything, but I've now tuned to 97.5, and if I hit that button, it displays the message again. So that's kind of cool, and there's this area here. So then, we went down the interstate a ways, and the airport's a schematic that I didn't make, but it was pretty cool, so I decided to use it. And I still have to work on it a little bit. It's kind of raised up. It looks a little bit artificial. There'll be some other terrain changes, I think. But the airport came first, but then in the next episode I built this interchange. And the slopes for each trek are really steep. But, I mean, they're only... It's a slope of 45... It's a 45-degree slope. So you bring your horse over here, and the interstate ends right over there. That'll obviously change as well. And so it's on a bit of a hill here, and I need to work on making it more natural looking. At the time, I'm mostly just concerned about getting it done. So then we keep heading along here. And then we reach this area, so we ride our horse up the hill, and then there's this little area here, so then we get dropped off or whatever, head up here. Maybe I'll make a parking garage at some point in time. This doesn't actually go anywhere, but it did at one point. Then there are all these little areas. I need to make a runway. I accidentally sort of destroyed the runway when I was making the hill because of all the commands I was using, and I need to work here a little bit more, but for now I just kind of have it here. It's like a bit of a guideline. I'm going to work on the inside, and we're going to work on the outside. I'll work on the terminals, all that fun stuff. is yet to come. There's some parking here, and then basically you just go around here. Might work on this area a little bit too. I don't know how much I like the white. I want to change it to this this stuff here. Chiseled stone bricks, but then anyway, depending on which way you want to go. If you want to go right, up down here and get on. And that's also if you're coming from that way. If you want to go left, and these all both end up on the frontage road, but you'd go down here and then you hop onto the freeway. And then after that, the only thing left is my personal, right now, which way am I going? Look at that TP. Perfect. But then the only thing left, I don't think I went over me building this area. So I'll show the inside. I'll show the inside of all these buildings since I haven't actually been in them. I just kind of showed you everything I did. So here's the course sign-up area. Tells you what to do, and then here's all your individual course sections. And this looks like one of my builds before I really knew how to build, actually. These small little sections, but I think they kind of look cool. So these signs are all messed up because when you switch versions from 1.7 to 1.8, it gets a little bit messed up. But Redstone Course Introductory, Redstone Course ID 1, Applied Redstone 2, and then Redstone Designs 3. I'd be able to give that class myself. I believe I'm good enough at it anyway. Not to brag or anything. Interior Design, Course ID 4, Lighting and Other Skills, Advanced Interior Dizig. And then it's got that thing there because the signs are all messed up. Exterior Design. This area would look better if it was bigger than 3x3, I think. Gardening courses. Flower mechanics, I'm not sure like what you'd teach in that. Leaf usage, tree usage, that's in building mostly. Like water mechanics. The way water and lava work and stuff like that. Weaponry and tactics, chanting and efficiency. The reason I chose to have that one in here, because there's a lot of stuff you can really do with weaponry. And this stuff is more for like a really, like if you want to win a war, you set it up this way. But the enchanting and efficiency one is one of those things in like, if I'm watching an ultra hardcore thing or something, once they get the enchanting up, it seems like nobody knows how the system works except for Seth Bling and Ant Venom, because he likes to watch Seth Bling, but that's another story and for the kids. UHC, but like, it really bugs me that no one understands. I mean, it's gotten better now, but like when it first came out, no one really knew what they were doing with enchanting, and it became problematic for those who wanted to win. Basic weaponry and defense, stuff like building a wall, water over it so you can't blow it up, stuff like that. Complex war machines is TNT cannons, the penetrator cannon, other stuff like that. But cool beans. Then over here is the command block mechanics, basic commands and principles, JSON and the tell raw command, and then games and mechanisms. Yeah. cool, fun, nice stuff like that. We're already 20 minutes into the episode. Down here is sort of, the building's finished, but the area's not. There's a floating track here. It's on barrier blocks. If I can illustrate that, you see all the barriers. And then it would continue off in this direction. Probably going to do something cool with that once I get to it. One sec. There's someone parked in our driveway. We live in condos, and they're just not where they're supposed to be. Whatever. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Oops. And then, kind of peer into one of these rooms here. It's pretty much empty. There's just the light in the corner, and you can put whatever you want in it. There's this building, which is like the actual course building. And all the other stuff, like places you can build. Nothing there, just a light in the corner. A couple of rooms in here. I gotta sneeze. It stinks. There's another one, like this, down the hall. Yikes. But yeah. Where am I? Again. Apologies. Blow my nose real quick. So then down this hall. Dang it. Still have to sneeze. Going on here, there's a nice little lecture room. So that's for like a really big lecture, whatever you want to do with it. Hold a court session. I should make a courthouse. I should do that. So there's another room down here. This was supposed to be actually an observation room. Like this. Looks a lot nicer as well. Cool beans. And then I'm not really sure what I want to do with that. I'm gonna put carpet in here too. And 1 second, I need to take this call. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Mom wants to know what kind of what size flip-flops I have. Or what size feet I have, I suppose. 4 flip-flops. I did finish this building one day, and then, my world file sort of got corrupted. And I'd done a lot of work. There was like a big room here with an observatory dome and everything. So that was too bad. I haven't really gotten around to doing anything with it yet, and I really didn't feel like it. I kind of got a little mad about that, and ever since then I really just haven't felt like working on it. So that only leaves, if I can even get in, the basketball stadium, and there is a lighting glitch as usual. No big surprise there. should resolve itself. I believe if I bring up F12. Ha 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 ha. Wait, what? No. Oh, how can I make this go to the beginning? Oh. Aha. See, I discovered something. And we can make Ice Dog run laps. Ha! Run, you little minion. 10 laps. Go. But that about does it, guys. So, if you would like to see something in here, I may have left this here. I never really noticed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Well, it's the same distance, so I guess I just left a couple of blocks in there. If there's something that any of you would like to see out there, me put in, and it actually makes sense and is, like, legit suggestion, feel free to post that in the comments. So, like, don't say a rocket ship that actually works and goes to the moon. Ice Dog's done running laps, and we're done around here. This is Alexandrondon signing off. Make sure you check in for episode 11. We're going to be doing some work with the basketball tournament. Bye.